What a beautiful day for an icebreaker. I'm not talking about because it's cold. No, I'm talking about because on my drive here, I knew there would be people missing, and I was correct. That translates into fewer people to speak in front of. On my drive here this morning, I encountered several road signs. Stop, no U-turn, one way, just to name a few. Fortunately, I did not run into the two most dreaded, wrong way and dead end. During my life, however, I have run into one of those two signs. Here's my story. There are certain events that shape the course of our lives. When I was in high school, I discovered that I had a natural talent for chemistry. Let me give you an illustration from my college chemistry class. It was typical for Dr. Slagle to curve the test average to my score. For a test in nuclear chemistry, he completely decided against it. He knew that his previous classes had struggled with that chapter, so he added an additional 20% to the test. Had he chose to use my test to curve the rest of the classes, only 2 people would have passed. Myself, of course, and another person. I made a perfect 120% on that test. I knew I had a talent in chemistry at that point, and that served to help me with my passion later on in life. Well, the unfortunate thing about that is that chemistry is boring as hell. Chemistry doesn't like doing chemistry. It did, however, start my passion for medicine. Now, I loved the medical field. At the start of my gross anatomy course, I was dissecting the muscle, the flesh, the fat off of my cadaver's backside, and what was left were the bones that covered up the spinal cord. Now, through a not-so-meticulous process, I removed the bones that did cover the spinal cord. I took my scalpel and I started to dissect away the coverings, commonly called the meninges. As I pulled the meninges away, it was like the clouds were opening up, and there was this bright light shining down on what I was doing, like I could hear angels in the background singing. I was an aircraft electrician before I had started going to college, and I was witnessing firsthand the truly amazing wiring system of the human body. If this wasn't enough to incite my passion for medicine, my first open heart surgery certainly was. After cleaning myself up and donning the appropriate attire, I walked into the OR and took my place next to the heart surgeon. The patient in front of us had clogged coronary arteries. His heart was not receiving the oxygen that it needed in order to keep pumping blood. It was our job to suture new vessels onto the heart so it could get an adequate blood supply and thus adequate oxygenation. Now, the 3 of us, myself, the heart surgeon, his assistant across from me, as we cracked open the chest, I saw what I would consider to be one of the most amazing sights that I've ever seen in my entire life, a beating human heart. To my left, the anesthesiologist was keeping the patient comfortably asleep. To my right, there was another surgeon harvesting the veins that we would be using throughout our procedure. Myself, the heart surgeon, his assistant across from me, we were there suturing the new vessels on. Throughout this 10-hour procedure, though I'm not a fan of music, it felt like I was in the midst of this beautiful symphony, and I, the medical student, was learning how to play a musical instrument. I truly felt like a superhero. I was never more excited to wake up at 4 a.m., to go to the hospital, to round on my patients, to listen to their truly amazing stories. I was never more excited to start doing surgeries at 6 a.m. that went throughout the day. I look forward to our afternoon rounds when I can again go see those patients, check their incisions for any signs of infection, make sure these people were properly medicated and that they were being taken care of. If I could think of a time in my life that I could go back to, if I could think of something that I would be doing, if I had unlimited resources to educate myself to do that, I would be doing exactly what I was doing at that present time. I was living the dream that I had had from when I was a child. It was 7 months before graduation, and that was just truly the happiest time of my life. I was on top of the world. I felt like there was nothing that could bring me down. Unfortunately, I took for granted the importance of the social support system. I came home to find divorce papers, and it felt like my life came to a screeching halt. It felt like someone had taken a dead-end sign, put it directly in front of me. I was just stopped in my tracks. Better than the wrong way, I guess. In the words of Naomi Judd, a dead end is a good place to turn around. As I find myself making this turn, I'm examining my life for areas that I can improve upon. First, I'm making sure that I have a proper social support system. We never know what life is going to throw at us, but as long as we're prepared, we can take it in stride and do our best. Second, public speaking is an area that I have struggled with my entire life. I'm here to try to improve that. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for allowing me to improve my communication skills.